The luxury cigar industry presents itself as a world of tradition, craftsmanship, and slow elegance. Yet behind the polished wooden boxes and golden bands lies a massive global system built on agriculture, logistics, chemistry, labor, and branding psychology. One that begins not in cigar lounges but in vast tobacco fields spread across countries like the Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, Honduras, Brazil, Indonesia, and parts of Africa, where millions of tobacco plants are cultivated every year, under tightly controlled conditions designed to optimize leaf size, oil content, and burn quality. Tobacco farming for cigars is not casual agriculture. It is precision farming on an industrial scale, where specific seed varieties are chosen for wrapper leaves, binder leaves, and filler leaves, each serving a different structural role in the final cigar, and where soil composition, rainfall patterns, sunlight exposure, and even wind direction are monitored because all of these variables directly affect how a leaf will burn, taste, and age later in the process. Once mature, tobacco plants are harvested by hand in stages, starting from the bottom leaves and moving upward over several weeks, because each layer of the plant develops different chemical properties, with upper leaves receiving more sunlight and becoming thicker, oilier, and stronger, which is why premium cigar production still relies heavily on human labor rather than full automation, since machines cannot yet replicate the selective harvesting required for quality leaves. After harvesting, the leaves are transported into massive curing barns where the real transformation begins, as fresh green tobacco is slowly dried over several weeks using controlled ventilation, temperature, and humidity, during which chlorophyll breaks down, sugars develop, and the leaves shift from green to yellow to deep brown, a process that already determines a significant portion of the cigar's final flavor profile long before any rolling takes place. But curing is only the first phase, because the industry's true power lies in fermentation, an industrial-scale biological reaction where thousands of tons of tobacco are stacked into massive piles called pylons, sometimes reaching several meters high, allowing internal heat and microbial activity to naturally alter the chemical structure of the leaves, removing harsh compounds like ammonia while deepening aroma, color, and combustion quality, all while workers constantly rotate and monitor the stacks to prevent overheating or mold outbreaks that could destroy entire batches. At this stage, tobacco becomes inventory rather than crops, stored in aging warehouses for years, sometimes decades, where companies manage massive leaf stockpiles like financial assets, knowing that aged tobacco increases brand value and market prestige, while also serving as strategic reserves that protect manufacturers from climate disasters, supply shocks, and political instability in farming regions. Only after years of biological processing does the leaf reach cigar factories, which range from artisanal workshops to massive production facilities employing thousands of workers, many of whom train for years to become professional cigar rollers known as torcedores, specialists capable of assembling complex blends using precise ratios of filler leaves, binder layers, and outer wrappers, all designed to control airflow, burn rate, and flavor progression throughout the smoking experience. Despite the romantic image, modern cigar factories operate more like controlled production lines, with strict quality inspection checkpoints, standardized molds, digital humidity systems, and industrial logistics chains that coordinate raw material flow across continents, allowing global brands to produce millions of cigars annually while maintaining consistent flavor profiles across markets. Each cigar is essentially a biological product engineered through human intervention, where agricultural chemistry, microbial fermentation, and mechanical craftsmanship converge into a single object marketed as luxury, tradition, and personal identity, even though the industry itself functions as a multinational system driven by efficiency, scalability, and brand differentiation. Packaging then transforms agricultural labor into perceived prestige, as cigars are placed in cedar boxes, wrapped with metallic bands, and distributed through a network of wholesalers, distributors, and retailers, where pricing reflects not just material cost but aging time, brand reputation, scarcity narratives, and psychological value creation, often turning a product grown for a few cents per leaf into a retail item sold for tens or even hundreds of dollars per unit. What the consumer ultimately holds is not just tobacco, but the final output of a complex industrial machine that merges farming, microbiology, labor economics, marketing, and cultural symbolism, a system that depends on rural labor, biological time, chemical transformation, and global supply chains, yet presents itself as something simple, slow, and handcrafted. The large-scale cigar industry survives not because people need cigars, but because it has mastered the art of transforming raw leaves into stories, rituals, identities, and perceived exclusivity, converting agriculture into aspiration and fermentation into luxury, while quietly operating one of the most intricate plant-based manufacturing systems in the modern world. In the end, every cigar is less a symbol of relaxation and more a compressed artifact of industrial agriculture, global labor, chemical engineering, and brand psychology, a reminder that even the most traditional-looking products often emerge from some of the most complex systems humans have ever built.